Today I'm starting a bit of a build up of this Trek. It's going to be a 1x7 slick tired sort of commuter bike.
This is the bike as I saw it on Marketplace. I could clearly see a few good pieces which would make it a good parts bike. But after picking it up, seeing it had more life left in it, and it was an Eastern tubing bike, I decided to build it up and then put it up for sale so someone can use it as a commuter bike. It came with a full DX group set, although the shifters were upgraded to XT at some point. The previous owner said his son used it, so whether it was dropped or he had it off or something, I don't really know, but clearly there's some damage here. It's in pretty good condition. There is some corrosion underneath the paint, but it hasn't really stripped it. So Eastern tubing. After cleaning it all up, I went on to service the bottom bracket and headset. The next thing on the list was sorting out the chainring situation. These are what came off it. The chainring, that would have been the placement and the one that I would use. But as you can see, it's pretty messed up. There's a tooth missing up there. That one's all messed up. But no stress, I had one in the parts bin. Using the bottom bracket I had, I bolted the cranks back down and tried to get an idea of chain line. As you can see here, the chain line lined up with about the middle of the cassette, so this width BB will be fine. If the chain line wasn't right, then you'll either need a wider or thinner BB, or if it's just slightly off, you could probably get away with just some small spaces to space the chainring. I'll show you a little trick, so you don't have to just chuck these bolts in the parts bin or something. So it's quite simply just cutting down the bolts. What I do is measure the excess, then thread the male back into the female backwards. They then go in the vise like this and just cut the excess off. Then clean up any burrs and double check that it threads in properly. Rear's all good to go. We'll see what happens with this cassette.
I haven't tested it before, but I mean, worst that's going to happen is it's going to mess up one of my shins. Derailleur's on. It's just some Altus, nothing special, but reliable Shimano stuff. Same as the shifter. I've had this on a bike before and it shifts great. Nice and reliable. All the cables and brake pads have to go on, as well as pedals, chain, grips, and then it's all pretty much done. Let's get cracking on these brakes, huh? Good times. Some lot of good times. So all the cables are ran. It's going nice and smoothly. So coming down here, you can see as the cable wanted to exit and go down to the derailleur, it bent it that much. So that hole there is pointing sort of up here rather than directly along the seat stay. And even that one is on sort of an angle, so we're gonna have to fix that bottom hole. So hopefully the cable wants to exit and enter safely, smoothly, and without bending itself like that again. Ay. That was a bit of a mish. Because there's not much space here, I had to use the Dremel because I don't have a 90-degree drill, and then had to tidy it up inside and out just so the inner wire doesn't sort of scrape on there. But it came out a lot better than what it was from factory.
So that's about it for this bike, other than I have some different grips on the way for it. I'm not typically a huge fan of alloy bikes. Steel is a bit more of a damping effect, which combination seems to work quite well, with the tanged fork and 1.75 inch wide tyres. It rides pretty well for an alloy bike. It has a stiff frame to get the power down, as well as the steel fork to damper a little bit of the road vibration.
And that's what looks so bad at. Just detours and shit.
G'day mates, real quick I thought I'd let you know about an upcoming build. It's this rock hopper build, which is actually my 4th of this era. I'll build it up first as a rat bike with the current patina, and then it'll get preserved or painted to save it from a slow death. So feel free to stick around and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.